Up on Mountain News this morning, the people of Owsley County remember the life of a man who spent nearly half a century serving as circuit clerk at a local community and technical college. Hosts an event to discuss a disaster that happened more than 50 years ago and compare and contrast it to the flooding we saw in July.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Well, good morning, y'all. 6:32. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning. It's Thursday. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at our forecast this morning. And Brandon, you've kind of, well, there you are. You've got, I was like, where's he at?
Here I am.
You've kind of been busy this morning over in the weather department.
Yeah, we've been tracking a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy, but I think I spent most of my time trying to get our cameras working there for a little bit. But the little issues there earlier, we got them all squared away. But yeah, we've been tracking a little bit of rain this morning. Let's take a look at it live pinpoint Doppler radar. And you'll be able to see, again, some heavy rain move through some areas this morning, kind of pushing into parts of southwest Virginia. So I guarantee you, when we check the Harlan temperature again, it will not still be in the 70s because it's right over top of Harlan. Let's see if I'm right. We'll go to Buffalo Mountain first. I forgot I had a camera in here. 61 up there, some fog issues. Look at that. Visibility across the mountain. You can't even see the tower on the other side with the lights blinking. So just be careful. All right, still 72. Must not have got to the airport yet over there. But again, it's up there pretty high in Tucker Guthrie over there in Harlan, just outside of Harlan. But you see still 72 in Harlan, 70 in Jacksboro. But temperatures where the rain has already came through is basically falling into the 50s and 60s. Your breakfast forecast, don't worry. It's going to go right back up today as the rain clears out and the southwest winds crank back up. Forecasting 80 for a daytime high today. Yes, I know it's still February. But unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, the warmer weather is here for now. Dakota?
All right, Brennan, thank you. Well, police arrested a Laurel County man after they say he stabbed another man 5 times. It happened early Tuesday morning just south of London. Deputies were called to investigate the assault at a mobile home park. Well, when they got there, they discovered 24-year-old Joshua Bowling was the suspect in the case. In addition to being charged with attempted murder in Laurel County, he was also charged on a warrant out of Whitley County on criminal mischief, disorderly conduct, and assault. The victim, who has not been identified, was taken to a hospital for his injuries. We do not know his current condition. Well, the people of Owsley County are remembering a former circuit clerk who died last week. Our Alyssa Williams checked in with those who knew him best to learn more about his life, his legacy, and the ways in which he made history.
Archie Michael Mays' loved ones say they are focusing on all of the good times they shared with him. His friends and family are sharing stories of the Mike they knew best.
One time we was in northern Kentucky on a trip, and he drove through a green light, which you're allowed to drive through a green light. And I said, "Mike, you just drove through a green light." And he said, "I did not." And so I like to. Then he saw what I'd done, you know.
His brother says Mays was a servant from the beginning, enlisting in the Navy at 19, going on to fight for his country in the Vietnam War.
I remember my dad, I could see his hair turning gray, you know, while he was gone. It really worried him.
Mays would leave the Navy and eventually go into politics, serving as Owsley County circuit clerk for 45 years.
He was the longest serving consecutive circuit clerk in the state of Kentucky, and that's a big honor.
Above all else, Mays was fiercely devoted to his community, serving on numerous boards and always supporting Owsley County athletics.
That's why he held the position that he held for so long, because he truly cared about the people. I mean, he always wanted to help anybody he could help. I mean, inside the office, outside the office, no matter where it was.
Those who knew him say his legacy lives on through the countless lives he has touched, and his shoes will never truly be filled.
Oh, the memories. There's a book to be written about Mike.
Merry Christmas. Oh, that's so nice.
We'll just miss him.
Coming together to remember Mike Mays. In Owsley County, Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
His funeral service will begin at 11 o'clock this morning at the Boonville Funeral Home. Those who knew him say he has an impact that left on Owsley County will never be forgotten. A historic flood more than 50 years ago was discussed last night at Hazard Community and Technical College. The February 26, 1972 Buffalo Creek disaster in Logan County, West Virginia, killed 125 people and left thousands homeless. It happened when a coal slurry impoundment collapsed. The HCTC Humanities faculty hosted a showing of 2 award-winning Apple Shop documentaries about the disaster, followed by a discussion with the director. They talked about the similarities and differences from that disaster to July's flood here in eastern Kentucky and the mental impacts and the housing issues following disasters. Well, it's a decades-old story that continues to intrigue people to this day. An upcoming documentary is taking a fresh look at it. And for months now, an investigative reporter from our sister station, Wave News in Louisville, has been digging into the stories of Andrew Thornton and the animal dubbed the cocaine bear. Her journey has taken her from the Georgia mountains down to Kentucky's cocaine corridor and to the very spot where Thornton died. Garrett Weimer gives us a sneak peek.
In months of digging through investigative case files,
is handwritten.
Reporter Natalia Martinez says one of her favorite finds,
a little poem,
came from the wallet of Andrew Thornton.
It talks about don't believe anything except what you yourself believe to be as true.
Appropriate, she says, not just for Thornton, but for thinking of this story as a whole.
And it's not too far-fetched that a law enforcement officer would choose to go rogue.
He thought the DEA was following him in an airplane. They think we're out to get him, and we are.
Fascinated by the story, Martinez, investigative reporter at Wave in Louisville, started looking into it before she even heard of the movie Cocaine Bear.
It's just got so many different elements to it that I think it's intriguing, and that's why people have kind of latched on, and even though it's been 40 years, it's still fascinating.
By now, many of the case files Martinez learned have been destroyed. Still, she was able to track down the FBI file on Thornton and the toxicology report for none other than the drug-ingesting bear itself.
It's a fascinating story that, frankly, you couldn't make up, from the way Drew Thornton died to the cocaine bear.
Blow, the true story of cocaine, a bear, and a crooked Kentucky cop, has something Martinez says even for those already familiar with the background.
They are going to get the true story of Andrew Thornton and this bear and what led to his demise.
She also hopes people come away with a different sense of who Andrew Thornton was.
You look on the internet and all you see is, cop gone rogue, drug smuggling cop, and I think that there was so much more to Andrew Thornton.
After all, she says, the poem in his wallet tried to warn us. Garrett Weimer, WYMT Mountain News.
Martinez says many family members and others involved did not speak to her for the documentary. She says as time passes, she hopes they will share their stories for history's sake before it is too late and fiction takes over.
.640 here on this Thursday morning. We are tracking some rain across the region. We've been tracking for the last several hours, but you see it starting to clear a little bit in central Kentucky. I think that trend will continue south as we head deeper toward lunchtime. Temperatures still in the 70s in Harlan and Jacksboro, but 60s pretty much everywhere else there. Some 50s back up toward Jackson, Logan, over toward Hazard as well this morning. Somerset, Irvin, Moorhead, and Ashland. Everybody else is in the 60s and 70s. Your out the door forecast again. I do think we clear the skies out this afternoon. Those southwest winds will pick back up, taking us right back toward that 80-degree mark for the second day in a row. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. When we come back here on Mountain News this morning, concerns about AI become reality in the world of sci-fi as people use it to try to make a quick buck with generated stories.